It seems like we're live, eh?
Yep, we are live. Just give me a second. Let me make sure. All right, and we are live. Okay, so yes, we are live, guys. Keep.
That was challenging a bit.
All right, what's up, everyone? This is Ryan here, the Crypto Grinder, and today we have a very special interview with TTC Protocol's Chang. He's the VP ecosystem for the ecosystem, right? And I think everybody wants to know in terms of why is TTC Protocol going to be able to build a very, very strong social media business in the blockchain space. So Chase, welcome and welcome to the chat. And also, I think we would like to know a little bit more about why did you decide to join TTC or at least start up this business in the blockchain space with TTC?
Wow. Hey, Ryan. Nice meeting you as well.
Yep.
That's a big question to start with.
Yep, it is. We always have to start big, man.
Right. Talking about visions and problems we see. So the idea started from Steemit, basically. I'm not gonna go around hitting around the bush. I'm just gonna go straight up. So this is kind of idea of the being rebellious to current centralized social network system. The value is coming from user entirely. Content is created by users, time's being spent by users. All the actions are done by users, yet all the commercial value of the social networks are going toward the shareholders, right? So Steemit, obviously, in 2 years ago, they launched this amazing research paper called white paper. And then they kind of proved it for the next 2 years, building a community of 1 million users that it makes sense for people to get their commercial value back for their time contribution. And we thought it was an amazing thing, how people are actually adopting this idea very quickly. So we just wanted to do it faster and quicker and a larger scale so that we can actually bring bigger impact to the world.
Okay, so I think the most important thing about any social media network is always the user adoption. But I think the audience would like to find out a little bit more about your background experience with this space, right? So you have a pretty impressive resume, and
Thank
of course
you.
you guys can check it out on LinkedIn, right? So Chase here is also global business development for Line. That was back in 2014, and then the latest before he came on board TTC was Retrica. So would you be able to share a little bit about those two companies, and then from then we can move on to TTC itself?
Right. You did your homework, Ryan. So
yeah, man.
really appreciate that. I'm just gonna so question was about talking about Line and Retrica and my position there. So I think a lot of people in Asia probably know about Line. It's one of the top messenger in 3 countries: Japan, Thailand, and Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a first launching member of Line Thailand. So I studied with, I was with a team of 4 or 5 people, and we are in a really tiny rented space there at the beginning. I was working there for about 3 years, working as a head of partnership, head of new business. I launched the Line Music, Line Pay, Line Web Store, Line Stickers. And within 24 months, it grew to the size of 300 people, making $100 million revenue just in Thailand. So that was an amazing experience for me. And as talking about user headcount, Line Thailand back in the day started from less than 6 million, grew up to 40 million within 3 years that I was there. So that was an amazing experience. And after that, I moved to a company called Retrica, as you mentioned.
Yeah, looks like Instagram.
It is. So it started kind of as a camera application that focusing on the content creation. So it was very popularized by the idea of selfie in 2013 and 14. And it raised its first funding round in 2015. And that's when I joined the team as a COO at the time. So they need a business guy. They only had four really, really brilliant engineers. And they wanted to convert that into a larger scale in the global business. So I joined the team. It was an amazing experience because at that point, it had about $200 million already, generating millions of dollars of revenue within 4 people. I worked there as a CEO for about 2 years. now the download is about doubled to about 375 million downloads around the world. It still has a strong user base of 40 million MAU. So
I think the audience would also like to know about what creates that virility or success for a social media app, because everybody can come on board this space and try to create something social and keep using the word blockchain and whatnot, especially in this space. But I think with your expertise and experience in the space, right, there's some special sauce that would make this particular project a little bit different. What do you think that is?
I think here's the thing. For someone who's been working along with the social network project for past 4 years, 5 years, and also Brian is the CEO of the TTC Protocol, president. He's been working on his own social network in China. Now has 11 million users, grew 5 times, so it's growing really fast. But what we both know at this point is that it is really damn hard. Can I use the word damn here?
Yeah,
damn
of course.
Hard, damn hard to, I don't know, damn hard to grow the social network.
Yes.
And then 2, it is almost impossible to come up with one generalized success idea, right? So here's a challenge for every entrepreneurs, that how to grow social and finding the wow moments. So what we are trying to do here, I'm going to talk about TTC protocol at this point.
Sure.
We are not being arrogance. We are not being arrogant at this point. We are going to build a protocol layer, and then we'll be inviting existing social network players with the entrepreneurs who's been losing their hairs to come up with a solution how to grow their social. So growing a social for teenagers in France and growing a social for, let's say, gamers in Asia are very different. So instead of coming up with the saying that with the blockchain technology we can grow every type of social, we are going to invite every entrepreneurs, every existing social app out there, who each of them have already amazing team who think about this. So I don't have to come up with how to grow social in France. I'm just going to work with entrepreneurs who just dream and sleep and eat about this idea. And then once they join the TTC protocol, they can contribute to the total growth of the protocol layer.
I think this is something that I watched your 120-second video on explaining the TTC protocol, and it's very easy to understand. So there is a mining element, a user element, and an advertising element, right? So I will put the links in the description below. It's basically done up by Chase as well. Simple and very easy to understand. So maybe let's take the audience through that experience, right? So there's the mining element. So maybe you could share a little bit about that mining element first, and then let's go on to the various stages.
Usage. The idea of that video was that a lot of people reading white papers, and then there are a lot of components in there, a lot of text, right? And then I just wanted to show that it is really easy for anybody to understand in that short period of time. And we thought it was really important because our job is to educate the entire world about this idea and then for them to adopt it. So if it's really hard to understand, for example, Steam, it took me like 6 blog reading, I mean, to understand the Steam power and Steam dollar and whatnot. I thought our team focused on making it very simple. So I'm just gonna work through it. Maybe take a little longer than 120 seconds. You can cut me off. Starting with mining.
No worries, man. As long as the audience understands, that's the most important.
Right. Start with mining. Mining works in a way that, as a user of a certain social network on top of TTC protocol, you don't have to even think about that. You just need to use the product as you're using before. So, for example, people in Tata UFO, one of our first step that's coming to TTC protocol, it's a kind of Instagram/Facebook-like service in China, meaning people will be posting their daily lives, and people will be clicking like, people will be commenting on it, right?
Yep.
By adopting TTC protocol, we are telling them, don't change your behavior. You don't have to do anything differently. Just be yourself and use the service as before, and we'll be rewarding you for the contribution you're making to the platform. So people just posting a lot of amazing photos, gaining a lot of followers, or people clicking around, showing their expression to other people's contents by clicking liking or the reporting when it's bad. or people writing about commenting to interact with each other, they all will be rewarded once a day for the token. So that's mining, and that could be any other debt coming into TTC protocol works exactly same way. So just think about any social that you can think of in your brain, and just to think about the action that you're doing, which will create a positive contribution. You will be rewarded for those actions. So you're not telling you to do something crazy. You're not telling you to do anything differently. So that's the idea. We are helping the social networks to grow for the intention the founders had by incentivizing users as long as they're working, their goal is aligned. So that's the mining, right?
Okay.
So
So this
once
is,
people,
it sounds
right.
like okay, because from when I understand mining for myself, it's either a proof of work or a proof of stake. In this case, this mining is, may I ask, is it a kind of a staking thing where we take all these tokens and stake it, or it's an action? It's through actions.
It's
Action.
right. That's a detailed question. It's action based,
Yes.
right? Because everything you do, like you got to do it to, you cannot just think about it to contribute. You got to do it. So it's so action of posting, action of sharing, action of liking, commenting, reporting, right?
Okay.
And then we have a two different set of engine going on inside. One is content contribution, and
Okay.
then the other one is a reputation contribution. Sorry, it's actually called contents reward and the reputation reward in English, I think.
Okay.
So these two concepts are interlinked to each other to create a basically it's gonna tell one number every day. It's what it says is that Ryan, your contribution to Tata UFO, if you're the user, today is 0.03 TTC token. So it's gonna spit out one number for each user in Tata UFO or any other dApps on TTC protocol, right?
Sure.
So right, so that calculation and then how that engine works is very detailed, explained inside our ecosystem white paper, and the white paper you can find in our website.
Okay.
Idea, you're right, yeah.
So this is basically action based. Okay, now based on what you just described, right? I need to kind of understand what makes yours special from, say, Steemit in particular, because right now every social media app is kind of like the same thing in terms of mechanism, honestly speaking, right? I can't really find something special. Can you maybe highlight the special sauce that is in this whole thing? Because advertising is part and parcel, especially when you create virility. Okay, initially it's always free to use, right? And then you want to make sure that you have enough user base. Once you have enough user base, definitely approaching advertisers is not a problem. That will probably be later down in the roadmap. So, but maybe let's focus on how you're going to excite the users to come on board. I think that is the part. So in this case, we can look at the live chat. So what's the incentive for us to buy your coins in that case, right? Because they're going to be exchanging BTC for TTC tokens. So what is that incentive,
I think, okay, so you're talking about two different questions.
Two different things, for sure.
Should
so
I
maybe we focus on the
which
business first, maybe from the business first, then after that from the users. Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
So should I answer your question first? What makes it special?
Sure.
So my question, my answer could be an informal question as well. Why do everybody talk about Steemit? As you said, there's nothing special about these projects around the globe, right? As you said, there's no really much of a difference. Then why do always people talk about Steemit instead of, let's say, product A or B or C, right? Because they have the most user right now, right? And then that's what I'm saying. Steemit launched about 20 months ago, and they gained about 1 million users, which is
but that's because they were the first one out of the door. Right now, you are one of the many social media apps. That's the challenging part.
That's right. That's why we're coming coming into this game with the 11 million users.
Okay. Where are the users from? Where are the users from Tata?
Tata UFO is our first app. The CEO is CEO of the Tata UFO is CEO of the TTC Protocol.
Okay,
right?
Good.
So I mean, it is guaranteed that 11 million is coming in. They don't have to download a new app. It'll be working in a format of updating the app. So
it's an integration.
Exactly.
I got you. Okay.
Right. At this point, I got to excuse the listeners that I'm sitting in a public cafe and you might hear some noise in the background, but as long as it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Right. So what the idea is this: Steemit to us is a very good research paper. They had a great idea to rebel against the centralized system, how the commercial value should be redistributed back to the users, and then they launched the lab product called Steemit. And then they didn't do anything in terms of business. If you look at their UI, it's really bad. People talking about how slow it is. Yet in 20 months, they gathered 1 million users. To me, it was very surprising point. I was like, wow, it must be really, really sexy idea for people to use that product. Actually, if you just look at the quality of the product itself, it's really bad, in my opinion.
Yes, in terms of the user interface, it's not fantastic. But
Exactly.
I think the idea was of the the censorship part, where away from the, me not being able to talk about certain things, right? Because let's say if I'm on YouTube and now crypto is kind of banned, right? I can't get the message out there. It's very frustrating. Or I want to talk about certain very taboo topics. I can't. Right? Because it's not socially accepted or something like that. So end up, right, I think decentralized platforms or blockchain related projects, right, kind of give us that level of appeal for now until advertisers start coming in. So maybe that's a business question, but never mind, I'm a little bit ahead. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
I think that's really a great point. However, if you talk about people who want to talk about taboo things, people who talk about things that's not allowed in Facebook, that usually means it's a very niche topic. That also is a limitation for Steemit to grow. If you go into Steemit right now, everybody's talking about blockchain, period.
Yeah.
But if you know how many people in the world know about blockchain or use blockchain, there's only about 15 to 20 million, which is 0.2% of the entire population, right? So that's where another difference coming from us. We're bringing 11 million regular 20s who love using social network into the game. Right, so we're coming as a bigger scale, which is a very important thing in the social media part. And two, we're bringing in actual social network hardcore users. If you think about it, why Google Plus didn't really succeed versus Facebook and Instagram, they talked about this. There's a lot of article about it because Google Plus started with a bunch of engineers, and nobody wants to see engineer in the social, right?
Yeah.
People call it the club theory. If you have a bunch of guys in a club, girls will not come in and guys will not come in, and it's gonna go down the business. You gotta have a lot of attractive members being there first, so that it grows, right?
Right.
So I mean, it's kind of a joke, nothing to do with the Me Too. I'm not being sexually oriented on that. That's the idea. So we're bringing hardcore social users, 11 million of them, into this game, and then they don't have to change their behaviors. They just be as they are right now, and then we'll be incentivizing them. And I think that's a way that truly will impact them, how people will adopt this technology.
I think that's very smart. I think that's very smart because by right, blockchain, anything blockchain related should be seamless. That means they don't even realize that it's on the blockchain. And at the end of the day, whenever they start doing whatever they're doing, they start to see, hey, there's this new feature that incentivizes me for doing whatever you're doing. So maybe we can come to that, because I think the audience is really curious from the tokenomic side and how they benefit. Yeah.
Okay. So wait, so what's the question exactly?
So the question is, how are the users incentivized or how incentivized for using your tokens, right? How do they receive it? Do they need to just do something, or do they need to top up their account or something like that? So maybe
Great question. So think about, like, as I said, this has to be very seamless, meaning that from users' point of view, they shouldn't be feeling anything major changes going on, right? So let's talk about usage. And a lot of token economy, like if you read different white papers, they talk about we're gonna allow users to do this. We gotta make users to spend this token for this kind of services or products and whatnot. And we are against that too. What I'm saying is that if you remember, if you roll back to 10 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, I said every step coming onto the TTC protocol, how they grow that product, how they grow the service is up to the entrepreneurs of each other, right? So each company, right? Meaning that these are people who thought about how to build a healthy, sustainable ecosystem business model inside their platform. So, for example, in Line, they started selling sticker at the beginning. In YouTube, for example, they launched a service called YouTube Red. So our idea is that any debt coming onto TTC protocol, each debt should be selling different service and different product based on their community and user base. All we provide is that they should be able to purchase those services using TTC token. So if I want to buy, for example, if Line came up to a TTC protocol, then people buying a Line stickers, they can purchase using TTC token, which they earn by being active inside Line. And if they don't have enough TTC token, they can go purchase it to purchase the sticker.
Nice.
Right?
Okay, got you.
So it's a very seamless. People know how to purchase things. It's been educated in the past 10 years. They know how to do in-app purchase. All we are saying is that now you have an in-app token in a way that you can purchase services and products, right?
So it seems like it seems very, very straightforward. I think the mechanism behind it is very seamless. And I think for a start, I think these kind of virtual items are pretty popular with Line, like the sticker. I mean, personally, I don't do all this kind of stuff, but I think the millennials love it. They'll buy stickers and little emoticons and whatnot, or just to enhance or customize their user experience with this. So are there any, all these are also revenue for the company as well, right?
Right.
So for TTC protocol, there are maybe you can share with the audience what are the various revenue streams that would help to monetize this platform. Maybe not initially on the advertising side, but let's talk about just the user experience first, and then from then we'll go along to the bigger picture.
Here's the two things. I like to tackle this question with two different angles. Sure. One, from the user's point of view, right? They just use their app as they were using it before. They'll be incentivized for that. And then they can use those tokens to purchase the things that were being sold inside the application to increase their user experience. So from their point, there is a benefit. Also, they can cash it out at the exchange, right? So there's a user point of view. We try to make it minimal change from the user's point of view. At the company's point of view, like let's say company not as a TTC protocol, but the debt. Let's say there's a service A video community that joined the TTC protocol. Their point of view, most I say, I'm not going to say 100% because maybe I don't know. Most of the companies earn revenue by two ways in the mobile world. One is in-app purchase, and second one is advertising. So let's look at it. One, because of TTC protocol is incentivizing users, they're going to have a reduced marketing cost. They don't have to spend their own cut of the revenue to give money back to the users. So that's just given. But then from the revenues point of view, first one, in-app purchase, they can just sell the product and service as they were doing before, but just provide them with TTC token, right? So it's seamless. Two, advertising, which we haven't talked about in terms of the ecosystem, it's the bottom part of it. The advertisers to post the advertisement inside the TTC protocol, they have to purchase TTC token, right? And then the revenue goes back to the platform owners. And here's the thing. Advertisement, as you said in the beginning, it's all about headcount, right? If you have more users, you have a better place to negotiate and leverage better with the advertisers. So, for example, if I have a social network with 1 million users, I cannot, for instance, get major brands like Nike or Coca-Cola to have a direct deal with us, probably. It'll be very challenging. However, if you're part of a TTC protocol, what I call is a union of the social network, if you're part of a TTC protocol with some total sum of 100 million users, and you're just 1 million contribution, but you're part of 100 million users, TTC protocol level can negotiate with top brands like Disney or the Coca-Cola or Nike. And suddenly you can take a portion of the bigger, larger, more sexier advertising deal, right? So that's the business point for the debt platform owners.
How long do you think, okay, based on your experience, right? How long do you think from after the ICO to building a database to getting advertisers to take notice of your platform? How long do you think it would take based on your previous experience?
That question, well, I think
it's not a really tough question, but it's a tough question for someone who's inexperienced, but I think it's a pretty easy question for someone who is experienced in the space.
I'm gonna rephrase your question. So
Sure.
advertisers will not notice us as long as we have a headcount. So your question is, how quickly can you get a lump sum of users?
Yes.
So our internal short-term goal is to get 100 million users by the end of the year.
No shit, really? 100 million users? Okay.
Yes.
I want to know the marketing. I want to know the marketing behind it.
That's fine. Here's the thing. And I love how you're talking about actual plan and then operation strategy about the growing business rather than just white paper, because everybody else is talking about blockchain will solve everything and then they're going to launch a service and it's going to grow, right? So it's not going to happen. So here's the thing. We're going to have a very aggressive thing. So one, let's look at 100 million. One, Tata UFO is coming in with 11 million users. So that's about 10% covered. Yet, they are the service that grew 5 times last year. So it's going to grow, and we believe it's going to grow even quicker. So, it's going to take a bigger chunk of the 100 million.
Right.
However, everybody starts saying, when I say 100 million, they ask this question: how are you going to grow Tata UFO to be 100 million user base service? And I say, no, Tata UFO is one of the TTC Protocol staff. So we are working out this in two ways, just like a traditional world. We're gonna go out for the acquisition and partnership. So if you look at our token allocation, 20% of entire token is allocated to something called ecosystem, right? And that ecosystem, what it means is that it's my job as a VP of ecosystem to go out and then bring in a lot of
partners and
exactly. So currently we're already in discussion with multiple services that's already existing in the mobile world to join the TTC protocol as a dev.
And you can leverage off their current database.
Their users will be coming in, but because of two things. Unlike any other, I don't know, I'm not going to talk about other white paper because I don't know every white paper. We focus on two things. One is we respect the autonomy of each dev. So if you listen to entire conversation we talked till now, we really focus on that because every social network, every community that has millions of users are unique for their geography or for their purpose or for the problem they're trying to solve or needs. Like is 30% of the weight. So each step coming in, they can the control the weight of different actions based on the each founder's needs. Like they know their user the best. So we entirely support the autonomy of each step coming in. So they have to change the least, right? That's one thing.
So this protocol layer actually can assist other platforms as well. It's not specific to in this case, not specific to Tata in that case.
That is correct. I really want to emphasize that. So Tata UFO, for example, as a Facebook, Instagram type of social network, and Brian would know the best as a founder. He can say maybe, I'm gonna put more emphasis on posting and then maybe number of followers. So people who get a lot of followers, they can incentivize more maybe. But let's look at like YouTube, for example, right? Or if you look at let's say a review site, it's kind of like Reddit, but like a review site. In the case, maybe it's not just the content is more important, but it's maybe people's voting that's more important to back up how good the quality is. Or if you look at the like a video community for the baby, maybe reporting is more important than contents because having one really bad video, for example, porn being uploaded there, it'll be a lot more damaging than any more contribution. So maybe they can say, we're going to put more weight in the reporting, right? So how each of the actions mean to different community. Maybe some community doesn't have a like, then they put 0 to that. That's fine. So one, going back to our question, one, we respect their autonomy, right? So more of that coming in. Two, we're gonna support them a little bit more aggressively financially by using those 20% of token allocation. We are considering the equity funding. So we can actually mix blood with the existing social network. We can go and say, like, we're gonna invest into 10% of your company so that our goal is very aligned. We can do the equity funding using our TTC token or the actual US dollar cash value if they want to. And or, as I said, this is not something we prefer, but we can acquire the service as well. But we prefer not to, because we want every service to have a strong leader who wants to grow it. And then we can just be a supportive platform or protocol layer.
Yes. Okay. Sounds more like a little bit like an incubation come accelerator process. I mean, because
for the VP part, yes.
Yes, for the VP aspect. Okay. So now, what I would like to ask also is that let's say you have already formed your base. Okay, let's say you form your base. You've already had that game plan, that business strategy. But I think what makes the whole thing come together is the team. So perhaps maybe you can share, because you spoke about Brian, and of course both of you are building this together. But are there any other key players in your team that's going to help bring this business to the next level?
Well, in terms of, if you look at, as you said, Brian and I have some kind of experience. I don't know. I mean, there's too many great people in the IT world that I'm not going to boast about myself too much. But TTC Protocol is backed by, at this point, Tata UFO. And then it has 55 very smart members, top schools in China. I heard that they're coming from schools that is even harder to get in than Harvard, because of, Chinese top schools are crazy. And they are the members who've been working with Brian for past 5 years, building social. So they're actually people who has a very solid experience in building social, trying to get them what the users need. Also has a very good tech base. More than half of their team is engineers from the very top school with 5+ years of experience. We've got engineers coming from Baidu. We have engineers coming from what I know, Google China or Facebook or top companies. I haven't read all their LinkedIn profiles, so
no worries. Based on who you know, right? Based on who you know, that's the most important.
Exactly. It is a very solid team that's backing up in the shadow, and really appreciate that. Of course, we are looking for new members to join.
All right.
So if anybody has has been inspired by the idea or who's very excited by the ideas, I mean, please contact us as well.
Okay. So
recruitment.
All right. So, okay, with regards to that, right, is there a charitable aspect of this project? This is a question by WB. So, is there a charitable aspect of this?
Charitable as in giving the
giving back to society or some sort. Is there anything down the road within?
I believe so. I think what was really interesting about reading a STEAMist white paper was that they actually mentioned about Reddit's project. That if the Reddit was actually giving back the commercial value back to the users, then their service would be a lot larger. And also, I also mentioned, I think I read it from the Twitter, that if for each like that I was pressing in the Facebook, if I were to get the actual share of the Facebook, I'd be more thrilled to be participating in the network as well. We are actually giving back commercial value back to the users, right? And I think it's not charity. And this is even better than charity, I think, because they are being recognized for their contribution and their effort and their time, right? I believe that giving something for free at the end of the day is not very sustainable unless you have a very ongoing, solid ecosystem going on. However, it's kind of moving from communism to the democracy in a way, is that if you can be recognized for your time spent, right, and then if you're justly rewarded for that effort and time, I believe that is the first step we can go. And of course, I mean, later, if I become billionaire,
maybe
I can make a foundation.
Philanthropy.
Right.
Philanthropic stuff. Yeah. But
Right.
that's
But
later, right?
yeah, but the point is that to just answer the question in a short version is that
Yes.
this is not charitable. This is nothing to do charitable. It's just that giving a right power and then giving their right back to the users.
Okay. So now, as a user, let me maybe go straight forward. So what can I expect? So the moment I join, do you have a working demo that we can start downloading and using already?
No, we don't have it yet.
Okay. So the app is not ready yet, as per se.
Actually, app
It's more
itself
of
is
Tata UFO, but it's
Tata
not
UF.
integrated yet. Okay,
That's
fine.
right.
All right. So now the next question, a little bit more serious now, because we have to go into the investor side as well. So right now, because your MVP is not available, you guys are raising 18 million. So far, I noticed on your website it says 5.2, 5.4 million. Okay. Why do you have to raise 18 million for an app? May I ask?
Actually, 80 million. How do you calculate it? Are you
Oh well,
just
based on what was in the white paper, by the way. I'm not the one that calculated.
okay?
Yeah, I
Right,
think
right.
is it
No, that
tokens or is it USD? That's the thing. I think it's
it,
USD.
we actually raise Ethereum based, so
Yes,
it's we are raising
50.
50,000 Ethereum,
Oh, okay.
50,000 Ethereum. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
And let's look at just the current point.
Yeah.
So Tata UFO in past 5 years raised about 13 million US dollar,
Okay. All right.
right?
Yep.
So I mean, same question. Well, why do you need to raise a 30 million dollar to come up with the app? So
Yes.
if you just look at the size of it compared to any other white papers that's launching out there, raising 30, 40, 50 million dollar worth of funding, I think 50,000 at this point is about 25 million. If you look at even from the VC's point of view or the traditional as in mobile, right?
Yeah.
Raising $25 million current value for the follow-up of the 30 million investment is reasonable.
What's the burn rate? What's the burn rate for this particular project?
Burn rate at this point,
because I think a large part of anything social, because everything is always given for free in the beginning, but it's not
Right.
exactly for free. There's hosting costs, there's staffing, there's development costs, and a large part of that is marketing. So I guess it's always that burn rate. So do you happen to kind of know the burn rate going forward so that people can understand? Because a lot of people don't understand the financial aspect. They're saying, okay, why are you raising 18 million? I'm helping the audience understand why
Right,
18
right.
million. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, okay, we're gonna stick with 18 million, even though to be clear, it's a 50,000 Ether.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So burn rate will be, especially most of the funding actually will be going to attract more partners into the DApp. So we're not really considering it in terms of marketing, because marketing will be done by each project self.
Smart.
So
Very nice.
Tata UFO will have to do their own marketings,
right.
But we can actually, as a foundation, we'll have to find the ways to bring that into our ecosystem, Tata UFO or any other social networks out there. And that, as I said, we are doing it aggressively using the even equity funding or acquisition, and that costs a lot of money at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be most of our operation burn. At the same time, once we have a certain size of the TTC protocol, I believe that it'll be a blood war going on for the protocol war that's coming in the following year. We need enough funding to actually push out and then do marketing for the TTC protocol itself too. Because at the end of the day, this is winner takes it all game. It'll be one or two player for each protocol of the protocol layer that'll actually survive, I would say, because startup is war. And at this point, we believe that such amount of 50,000 Ether is reasonable, given two things: one, current size of Tata UFO joining our DApp, and second, for the visions and goal we have to bring 100 million users, have 100 million friends out there. We need some deep pockets at this point at the beginning to educate the users and the players.
So, as a user, what's the time frame that I can expect to use this integrated platform, or at least have TTC protocol integrated into Tata UFO? What's the time frame?
Two different questions. I'm going to break down. One, Tata UFO's TTC integration will happen in as early as third quarter this year.
Third quarter.
So if you're using Tata UFO already, you will be exposed to blockchain technology, you will be exposed to cryptocurrency without really realizing it.
Okay.
Okay, that's one. And of course, if you want to try this, you can download Tata UFO and then try it.
Okay.
Second part is that here's the thing. For example, Ryan, what social are you using right now? And if anybody in the currently live chat, I cannot see it. I'm using
No
the phone.
problem.
You should tell me which community should be included in TTC. Then I could go talk to their service. And once their service is integrated, you don't have to download Tata UFO. If you're living in USA and if you're not 20, 25, 30-year-old in China, Tata UFO is not a fun service for you probably. My job is to go out there and then try to bring let's say I can bring a certain video community in USA. Then everybody in that service will be enjoying TTC Protocol's whole benefit of the blockchain technology and cryptocurrency.
Okay.
So
what are the initial challenges that you think you will start to face, say, for example, after successfully raising funds for this protocol? Because I guess everyone knows Tata UFO. So it's very easy to utilize the leverage on that current brand and then build a relationship from there. But honestly, I think as the business development side, which is yourself, what are the challenges that you think are going to be going to prevent TTC protocol from becoming successful?
The way I approach this is that this is not blockchain technology project. This is not cryptocurrency project. It is a social project. So the challenge always will be how to grow the total headcount. And I think the biggest challenge for me is to sign the first partner. Because that'll be the challenge. Because once the first partner, and if they see it how it works, then I think the second, third, and fourth, from my experience in past 5 years, any new project, I've launched various projects for Line in Thailand. The toughest part is always first partner. That'll be the hurdle. And I believe that I have a strong belief, of course, as one of the early starting member, that this will work in terms of incentive will work. And once we have a first partner, the second, third, fourth, a piece of the domino will just collapse a lot quicker.
Will fall into place.
Exactly. So first one, impactful, sizable partner is the biggest challenge and my biggest headache at this point.
Right. That's good. So as an entrepreneur, right, I think as an entrepreneur in this new space, do you find that this ICO route, how do you find this whole process of connecting with community members on a very regular level and at the same time managing their expectations? How so far, how has that been for you guys? Because I understand that you have a Telegram group that is about 30,000 people. So I'm sure there's a lot of questions coming in and out on a daily basis. And at the same time, eventually after the ICO, there's a lot of expectation to get your token listed, what kind of partnerships, what kind of marketing. How have you all been handling all that?
I think it is interesting. Like, for example, it is very different. First of all, as of now,
I'm sure it is.
It is. I mean, I dealt with tens of millions of users in terms of service to service provider level, but not to this,
not directly,
not the personal chat like level. Yes. It is challenging, but the way I look at it is kind of like how Ethereum is right now. For example, Ethereum is probably one of the most popular cryptocurrency out there with many holders, right? Right.
Yes.
Once you go a certain beyond size, and from our point of view, once the third quarter comes in this year, we'll be having 11 million people holding TTC token.
Okay.
Right. And that is also one thing that I want to bring, that we are not just trying to grow our own service. The idea is that social to us is very important at this point for the blockchain technology, is because to grow the entire influence of the blockchain technology toward the world, you need to have more people knowing it and using it. So currently in the world, there's only about 50 million users having a cryptocurrency. We are bringing 11 million users. So that was one impact. However, going back to your question, is that once you have 11 million people holding a TTC token, they're not going to be talking directly to us in the Telegram channel about this. They'll be working between them to sort it out because it's kind of beyond our hand. It's kind of like nobody's going to Ethereum, Telegram, and talk about how the price goes up and down and whatnot, right? So I think the challenge right now is that there's only maybe like, I don't know, maximum 10,000, 20,000, or sorry, 100,000, 200,000 people who holds a token and they're very active, right? Obviously, they put their own money up front and then talk about this. And that's why it's really challenging to communicate with them in the Telegram channels.
Yes, because it's to them, it's more of the, how is this company going to incentivize me? They're not focusing very much on the user experience, which is kind of very challenging, especially when you're ICOing, but at the same time, you are a social project. Because I think Chase, you are more focused on the social aspect, not so much on, because the social aspect, once that kicks in, everything is established. Obviously, the value of the token will the token will start generating a value of its own, a life of its own. It's separate. Yeah.
Right. In the social, what's interesting is that if you look at our project, social mining, the investors, meaning whoever holds token, is same as user. Because when you use it, when
you say social mining, sorry to cut you off. Social mining, because this is all pre-mined, right? That means you already have an X amount. Okay, so I get it. There's no POS related stuff. No. You don't have to stake your tokens on the wallet. Okay, so audience, just take note, you don't have to stake your tokens. It's already pre-mined. It's already pre-mined. Based on your actions, you will be given these tokens into your wallet based on the actions that you do. So let's clear that up. There's no need to buy any equipment. There's no need to go and stake your coins on a wallet or whatnot. So just take note. Because just now, it is regards to a question previously. Okay, sorry.
No mining.
Back to your your train of thought. Yes.
Right. So it's a user and the investor. And an investor is people holding a token at this point.
Yes.
They'll be same.
Okay.
Because a person who's using the social network service on top of the TTC protocol will be earning tokens. And they become naturally investor because if they want to cash it out, they have to go to the exchange. So we're actually, we're not just trying to build a service and then get the investors to invest into the service. Over the time, there'll be same group of people at the end of the day. So I think that's another really big impact. That's also what I meant by bringing 11 million new members to the cryptocurrency world is possible because everybody will be getting a TTC token and they'll be naturally going around and then seeing and then experiencing other things as well.
Okay. Now, another question that came from a little bit more bigger picture. Multi-Man 40 has asked, how will they react if Facebook develops a similar model?
That's a $1 million or $1 billion, hundreds of $1 billion question. Right. That's the same question that I think every startup been hearing from the 90s, right? But the thing is, like Amazon popped out of traditional bookstore business, and Google popped out of the Yahoo's shadow, right? Facebook popped out of maybe MySpace, and creators another cycle, Cyworld is that now. I think there's always time that the new play comes out, and that's for two reasons. One, there's something very disruptive happening in the industry, such as blockchain, that gives a huge boost to the smaller player. That's one. And second one is the bigger players cannot really ride that wave quick enough because of legacy. For example, Facebook will not, like, it's just my opinion, Facebook will not be jumping into blockchain or this incentivized technology because one, they have to satisfy the shareholders, right? How are they going to explain that they're no longer suddenly creating a revenue and they're giving back all the revenue back to users? And two, SEC currently in the US, with Facebook's major asset is in NASDAQ, which is tied to the US government, right? They have I don't know what's their market cap.
So basically, they cannot adopt this model so easily.
They have to bet, I don't know, $300 billion.
Yeah,
they have to bet on $300 billion. And then even now they're going to, after talking to Senate about the current problem, now they're talking about blockchain, then I'm sure SEC will make a very amazing case about it.
Yes, because they are already a listed stock. So if someone wants to be incentivized, so multi-man, this is to direct you to the question. Multi-man, if you decide to want to be incentivized, and if Facebook did adopt this model, it cannot be this model anyway, because the stock already provides a level of speculation and dividend and whatnot. In fact, I think Facebook doesn't provide any dividend. It's more of growth. It's a growth stock. So, so to answer your question, no way. Okay,
legacy.
Fine. Legacy. It's a legacy. Yeah. Okay. So the next question I want to ask is that more on security, right? So if I was to be participating in your ICO, okay,
right?
What are the steps that are going to be taken by the company to kind of have a layer of oversight to make sure that the project will deliver to the investors in this case?
Oh, that's a tough question. I mean, recently there was a case with Save Droid.
Oh, by the way, that was a stunt. It wasn't actual. It wasn't actual. It was a stunt, but it was a distasteful stunt.
I know.
But it's kind of true in a way, right? Because you see, now, you see what's the frustration? Okay, a lot of the young are stepping into this space, getting all excited. The market is starting to recover. I start being a little bit more generous. I put $100, $200 into a particular project because Chase is very handsome and he's Korean. He has nice sharp teeth, and that's all they do. And then basically after a while, no one is having any oversight or risk management whatsoever in this space. They care very little about this aspect, and I want to cover that. So I understand it's a tough question, but maybe try to answer it the best way that you can.
I brought up the Save Android because I think, as you said, it was very distasteful. Yet it proved a very strong message that there is really no regulation. I mean, they're the company who was backed by so many amazing people, like a lot of amazing advisors, amazing partnerships, etc. Yet they could just take off and leave, right? Yep. So what I'm just trying to say is it's very hard questions to answer. The thing is, I just kind of want to look at same view as my last questions, last answer about Facebook. It's about the asset you have. Once Facebook released this news, for example, Telegram, why does people spend $2 billion not feeling unsafe? Because they know the actual value is a lot larger than $2 billion, right? That they would not risk all that for just $2 billion. So coming back to Tata UFO, is the CEO of the Tata UFO, is CEO of the TTC Protocol. He already raised a $13 million. And as I said, the amount that we're raising might be really big for maybe startup, early stage startup, doesn't have a service or users. But from VC's point of view, it's almost kind of like a follow-up investment. It's only about $25 million at this point, which is next step for the Series C or D, if you think about it. So that's one thing I can provide. So we are not over raising the amount, and then we do have a track record, and we do have 11 million users to lose if you just take off. Okay. And that is Brian's lifetime worth of work.
But then again, this company TTC is a limited liability company, right? At the end of the day, so whatever failure that happens in TTC does not really affect Tata UFO directly. But however, yes, there is a reputational risk in that aspect. Right. Okay, fine, fair enough. Will there be some level of transparency at least? Like, for example, will you show, okay, you see, that's the thing. It's so challenging. I personally understand this space pretty well, okay, especially as an ex-banker and investor myself. I think that in the past, the wallet address was being displayed. But because of that, it is also risky for the project itself. It is great for us. We can see, okay, this is the address that is going to be for us to contribute to. But at the end of the day, it's not safe for you all or whoever is holding the token. Having the wallet address. So there is that challenge. So I was wondering whether would you be able to answer a little bit about this aspect as well? Because I understand your business development side. This is not really so much of the financial side, but maybe you can share a little bit about what's going on.
Actually,
or at least the steps that the founders are going to plan to take to secure the tokens and make sure that they are used appropriately, something like that.
That's a good question, and little bit afraid I'm not the person to answer
No
that question.
problem. No problem.
But just, right, yeah.
It's okay. Okay, so
I could follow up if you come to our Telegram channels.
Yeah, sure. Guys,
then we'll
join the Telegram channel. I think,
yeah.
guys, the questions that we ask here on CG is really just not to we put the projects on the spot, because you guys are going to be parting with your funds at the end of the day to be part of this project. But by the way, take note on the KYC element. US citizens and PRC are not allowed to invest in this project. So take note on the KYC element. But at the end of the day, if you feel that this project is something that excites you and you feel that it's going to be a little on the next level, feel free to join the TTC protocol or in their Telegram group so that you can, ask Chase or Brian any of these questions with regards to that. Actually, that is all the time that we have today, Chase. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, the audience, thank you so much for joining us on this live AMA with TTC Protocol. Looking forward to hearing more of your success stories along the road, and we wish you all the best for your ICO.
Thank you, Ryan. That was really fun.
Thank you so much, guys. See you in the next AMA, guys. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to join the TTC Protocol Telegram group, just in case if you guys have more questions to ask. Okay, see you guys and do your own research. Bye.
Bye-bye.